week. If you guys are watching the replay, always let me know in the comments with hashtag replay. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and click subscribe here, right here with this button. And if you guys are watching live, always say, hey, ask me questions. Even if you're watching the replay, always ask me questions in the comments because I love answering your guys' questions. Okay, that's why I show up on live streams, is to help you guys out. So I was like struggling with what to title this video today, and I'm also sitting in another compromising spot where I'm on a corner and people are probably gonna think that I'm taking a selfie of myself. But today I wanted to talk about the real reason why you're not getting followers organically online. And this is gonna be a short and sweet live stream because the fact of the matter is that if you are quite literally unsearchable online on search engines, or like when people type into Google or Instagram or Facebook, your name, your expertise, your niche or whatever, and your name isn't popping up, it's because you're not providing enough content for people to be able to search for you. Okay. So that kind of sounds like a duh answer. But another thing that goes about with this subject is like, the whole concept of like taking a step back and then looking at your own social media profiles. So when you look at your own profiles, I think this is like one of the things that I love doing with my clients is that I think we get so wound up in wanting more that we're so hyper focused on getting more followers that we actually look at our own content and it's not even worth following. Okay. Like real talk. And I want you guys, if you can, let me know in the comments, like real talk. Look at your content. Look at your Instagram page. Look at the 12-page layout or the 12-picture layout. Look at your Pinterest profile. Look at your YouTube channel. Look at how you're presenting yourself online. Would you follow yourself? Okay. Hey, Dave, how are you? Would you follow yourself? Are you providing consistent content? Is your content valuable? Right? And like, I feel like that is the first step is like, instead of wondering if you're searchable yet, look at your own content first and be like, would I even follow myself? Okay. So yeah, Dave says, would you follow you? And that sounds so dumb because we always think that like, yeah, like obviously I'm making the content like I would follow myself. But if you actually look at it from an unbiased perspective and you look at your content and what you're saying with your content, or maybe what you're like, even on video, like the way that you're presenting yourself, it's like, would I want to listen to myself when I'm on a live stream? Like if I'm giving my own live stream, I always go back and listen to myself because I'm like, do I even like what I'm saying? And I think that's like the best thing that you can do in your business, because a lot of the times, especially on social media, what happens is when we start an online business, the first thing we think about is like, I need to run to Instagram. I need to post all the things. And it has to be like blah, 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 XYZ 1, 2, 3. And then we post like 30 pictures in a row, balls out, balls to the wall, like we just like go all in, and then we get burned out and we're like, oh my god, I have 2 followers, what am I doing wrong? And it's like, at the end of the day, you're really not doing anything wrong yet, you just haven't really done anything. Okay. So it's like, it's kind of like the Kim Kardashian thing in 2 months. It's like people will go on a platform, they start posting for a month, and then they're like all upset and mad that they don't have like 80,000 followers. And it's like, to be quite frank, no one even knows that you exist after 2 months, okay? And the reason for that being, especially on Instagram or Facebook, is that you are quite literally unsearchable. So another thing I love doing as a tip for you guys is I want you guys to go to Google and I want you to start typing in your name, okay? Not the whole thing. Don't like put Kylie Francis, like do like Kylie F and then see what pops up, okay? Kylie FR, see what names pop up, okay? I know like Kylie Jenner has completely screwed over my name. So Kylie, we spell it the same way. And I'm like, really? So, but go to Google and type in your name and see what pops up. Because if people go to a search engine for their problems, or if they hear about you, they want to know more about you, they're going to Google, okay? Or if they're just typing in social media marketing consultant, social media marketing educator. If you are typing in these niche keywords and your content isn't showing up, that means you're not searchable, okay? And that's another reason why you're not getting followers, is because if you are so hyper focused on a time sensitive platform that doesn't allow your content to become searchable, you are never gonna show up as a solution to somebody's problem. Mark keeps calling me out for my... Mark said, did you just say balls to the wall? I did. I actually did say that. If you guys are hopping on, say hey. I love talking to you guys. Hey, Kristen, how are you? Mark says, hey, don't know about following me, but I do follow you. I'm glad to hear that, Mark. So yeah, so 2 things that I want you guys to focus on with this live stream. I didn't even know what to title this, but I know that this is so super important. So there's a step that you guys need to take before focusing on growing your following, okay? It's 1, am I being consistent enough to have enough valuable content where people are able to even find me, okay? Because if you're only posting once a week, and especially on a time-sensitive platform, no one is going to find you. Nobody, okay? You might have a lucky little duckling like coming across the street and be like, oh, like there's Mark, like there's Dave, like, hey guys, like, and then follow you. But at the end of the day, if you're not posting consistently, you don't deserve followers, okay? And even before posting consistently, it's like, take a look at your own content. And it's like, is the content that I'm producing something worth following? That is huge. And that takes a lot of self-realization, and it takes a lot of like looking at your content, like taking a step back and with an unbiased opinion and being like, would I even follow myself? That I want you guys to write that down. Would I even follow myself? And then I want you to go on all of your social media platforms, look at how many times you're posting, the types of content you're posting. Is your content searchable? Are you at least using hashtags, keywords, all of that good stuff? Because at the end of the day, if you're not using searchable, even on a time-sensitive platform, if you're not using hashtags or location tags, you're never going to get new followers, okay? And if you're on search engine social media websites like YouTube, Pinterest, podcasting, blogging, you need to make sure that you're using the correct the correct long tail keywords so people can find you. Because if you post on social media, it's not just enough to post a picture with like a witty one-liner and think you're going to get like 100,000 followers. It's like the people need to be able to search for you, because if they can't search for you, they quite literally cannot find you. And they really won't be able to find you if you're only posting once a week. Because the fact of the matter is that if you're only posting once a week, you are posting 52 times a year. Okay? I know that was like quick math. I know that might have made me sound smart, but it's actually like it's not rocket science, okay? If you are only committed to posting once a week on YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, blah, 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 because some internet freebie told you to do that and that's all you need to do, you're only posting 52 times a year. Okay, so take that and compare that to me. I'm posting every single day, multiple times a day, depending on the platform. But if we're focusing on YouTube, my plan is to post about every single day besides Sunday. So I'm posting about 350-ish times a year. So if someone's strategy is only to post once a week, where that's 52 times a year, and I'm posting like 350 times a year, like, do the math. Who's going to become more visible online? It's the person that posts more. Best known beats best. So if you're not getting followers online, this is the honest to God, like truth, reason, whatever you want to call it. I don't care what anyone else says. This is just like simple math, okay? If you're not showing up online, no one can find you. I want you guys to Google search your name. And I don't want you to type it in all the way. I want you to type it in like halfway, like Kylie and then like you can see if my name starts popping up in the guided search, okay? That's another way that you can find out if your name is searchable, okay? If your name isn't searchable on the Google search engine, that means you're not posting enough content, okay? That's just like point blank, because you are quite literally not searchable. So people cannot know that you are the answer if you are not searchable, okay? Unless they type in like your full name, like where you're from, date of birth, like all those things, like clearly your name's gonna pop up. But I want you to try that out. I want you to see if your name is even searchable. And if it's not searchable, it's because you're focusing too much time on time-sensitive platforms that aren't giving you, it means like you're never gonna see passive results in your business because you're only focusing on platforms that value attention and not value-based content, okay? Hey Vivian, how are you? So Google yourself, Google your name, your content. Is your content showing up on Google? Is any, or even in hashtags, you can put your name in a hashtag too, or like, you know, hashtags that you've been using. If your content isn't coming up on the search, no one else is seeing your content. That's just how it is. Okay. So another thing I want you guys to focus on too is I want you to take a step back from when you're like posting for a second and look at your own content and be like, am I worth following? Is my content amazing? Would I like my own content? Would I repost my own content? Would I follow myself? Would I, am I posting consistently enough so people can actually find me? And like, I'm not just like only posting once a week and hoping to get like 100 million followers. Okay. So I know that was like kind of like, there was a lot of advice like roaming around in this live stream, just because like this live stream, like it was like stuff I had to tell you guys, but like I didn't know how to title it. So I was just kind of like, I'm literally going to show up on a car rant and tell you guys. But the real reason, like, instead of hyper focusing on like, I want more followers, I want more followers, I want more followers. It's like the real reason is we need to step back and say like, okay, am I showing up daily and consistently providing value? And not only that, aesthetically pleasing value. Because if you're focusing on like photo, video, if you're focusing on all these platforms that favor, pictures and video, your content has to be good, okay? And people aren't just gonna like it. Like, people aren't just gonna like a picture of like, a tree trunk and then just because you have like a nature account, okay? It's like, it has to be aesthetically pleasing to the eye, because everyone knows by now that our brains, the way that they're wired, like especially with social media and like all technology, is that we have goldfish sized memory brains, whatever. Like after 7 seconds, like if you don't capture somebody's attention, you're like in the dust, like you're long gone, okay? So if you're focusing on platforms where it's like you have to like, where it values visually pleasing content like Instagram, video, like anything where you have to show up for it, it's like you have to prioritize that in your strategy, okay? You're picking that platform, all right? So if you don't want to show up with your face, if you don't want to show any part of this, pick podcasting, okay? You can pick YouTube as well, and you can just like, you don't need to have your face. You can just like have like some sort of like visual on there that's also appealing, or you can have your words show up like in subtitles. Also, you can pick Pinterest. Pinterest is probably like the best thing in the world because, like I always say, it's an online Facebook ad that's free. That's what it's like similar to. It's a picture with a link. They favor pictures without your face. So when you post on Pinterest, you don't have to post anything, like I already said, about your face. And the best thing about the 3 that I mentioned is that they're all search engines. So when you start placing your content onto a search engine, you're going to become searchable, okay? And like I said before in another live stream, people search for Facebook, but people don't go to Facebook to search for Google. So people go to Google to search for the solution to their problems, okay? That's where people go. That's where you go. That's where I go. This isn't like everything that I'm saying to you guys right now. It's like, these are just like straight up real talk facts, okay? So like I said, take a step back from your own content and being like, am I worth following? Would I follow myself? Am I providing enough content every single day for people to even know that I exist, to search for me and for people to follow me? And if you go to Google and you start typing in your name and your name's not popping up on the guided search, that means you are not searchable. Your website is not going to show up on the Google search engine, and people aren't going to think that you are a solution to their problem. So how do you fix that then? Start placing your content where it's relevancy and value based on social media search engines. These are the 4 that I recommend: Pinterest, YouTube, podcasting, and blogging. So when you do that, you start showing up in the search as the solution to somebody's problem, which means that's passive marketing, because you don't have to be on Instagram story. You don't have to be constantly updating a platform that's time sensitive in order to show up as a result to somebody else's problem. You just show up on the Google search. Guess who becomes your new marketing employee? The search engine. Okay. So that's really all that I have to say for today. If you guys have any questions before I wrap this up, let me know in the comments. I kind of like already wraps it up. But like I said, this live stream was kind of like me just like saying things that I wanted to tell you guys, because I feel like the biggest problem of today is people are like, how do I get more followers? I'm doing this thing. How do I get more? But it's like, are you worth following? Like, real talk, okay? That's the first thing you need to ask yourself is like, am I worth following? And I know that that's a really hard question that a lot of people, it's almost like, and it's not even from the sense where it's like, am I good enough? It's just more so from the sense of like, are you posting enough valuable content for people for people to find you and then follow you? Okay, because first they have to find you. So sometimes it has nothing to do with our content. Sometimes it's just we are posting, but we're not using hashtags. We're not using keywords. We're not placing our content on the search engines. We're just like quite literally unsearchable, which is why a way to test that out is what I said, go to Google and start typing in your name. And if your name doesn't come up in the guided search, it means your content is quite literally unsearchable. So that means people are not going to be able to find you, which also means you're competing with everybody else that's on Instagram. You're competing with the people that have millions of followers that already get the top spot in the hashtag search. Okay, so an easy way to combat that is by starting to place your content onto search engines: Pinterest, YouTube, podcasting, and blogging. So when you start doing that, your content becomes searchable, and then you're naturally going to grow your other social media platforms like Instagram. Like I tell you guys all the time, I grow my Instagram. It's not the majority of it, but I use Pinterest to help grow my Instagram channel because I love making quotes. So what do? I place my quotes on the Pinterest search engine. Google my name, Kylie FR, and guess what comes up? Kylie Francis quotes, because I've been doing it now for a year, which is crazy because I feel like I just started doing it. But the thing is that now my quotes show up, like I showed you guys on other live streams, where my quotes show up as the #1 Google search result. And this is just one of them. I have clearly 365 quotes because I do it every single day. I have my one result, my quote was, the result was 1 out of 186 million results on Google. Okay. And what's under my quote is my Instagram handle. So, like I said, if your content isn't searchable, new people like quite literally cannot find you unless you post at that time on a time sensitive platform. And then, like I always say, it's like a ticking time bomb after that. Okay. So they will be able to find you, but they just need to be on at the same exact time that you are on, unless you're paying for ads or unless you're already a celebrity. Okay. But a good way to know to see if your content is searchable or not is Google yourself. And if you don't show up, that's okay. But it just also means that you need to refocus on where you're providing your valuable content. Because a lot of times we're not showing up in the search on hashtags or on the search engine because we're not posting enough. Like I just used this example earlier, but it's like, if your plan is to only post once a week, you're only posting 52 times a year. Okay. And then you're competing with people like myself who plan on posting every single day, which is about 365 times a year. So do the math. Okay. If the more you post, best known beats best. Okay. That's how it is. It's social media marketing 2019. Best known beats best. If you show up more, you will win. Okay. Because if you only show up like for 30 days straight and then you get burned out because you're not Kim Kardashian, like you're only quitting on yourself. You have to keep going, and it's a slow and steady pace. But then like once it starts building, it like skyrockets. But a lot of the times is like people give up after 1 to 3 months. And it's like, no, you need to like keep going. Okay. Because the answer to that is just because you don't have enough content. You're quite literally not searchable. That is the only reason why you're not showing up. So you have to stay consistent with valuable content. You need to post consistently, and that's the answer. But I think like another thing, and like I already said this like 500 million times, so then I'm going to sign off, is that it's not even just about posting enough either. It's like, would you follow yourself? That's the question of the day. And I want you guys to write that down on a piece of paper. Would I follow myself? And I want you to go on all of your social media platforms and like literally ask yourself on every single one, look at your content. Would I follow myself? Would I follow myself? Would I follow myself? And if the answer is no, figure out why. Like if it's because you're like rushing the process and you're not producing good content because it stresses you out, it's like, okay, I realize that about myself. It's all about like self-realization. It's like, okay, I realize what I'm doing wrong. So how can I make that right? So that's probably the simplest tip that I'd probably say this on like multiple live streams from now on. Because it's like, would I follow myself? So instead of wanting more followers, people to follow you, be like, am I posting enough for people to be able to search for me? And would I follow myself? Those are the 2 tips that I have for you today. Are you posting enough? So you're even searchable. Google your name and see if you're searchable. Okay. Would I follow myself? Is my content even like good? Like if you're on a visual platform like Instagram, if your pictures aren't good, that's probably why people aren't following you. Okay. Because it's a visual platform. People are scrolling like really fast. Okay. So if your content doesn't stand out, they're not going to follow you. Okay. It's just real talk. But it doesn't always have to be visual based. You can do podcasting too. So if you have a podcast, is the audio good? Is it scratchy? Can they hear your cat meowing in the background, right? It's like there's simple things that we need to take note of that like when we do it. This is another thing too with live streaming is that I've seen people do live streaming and their content is so good, but I can't see them because they're in like the dark corner of their basement and it's like this dim spotlight in their face. Like when you watch a horror movie and like the light shines up on their face, that's what it looks like. And it's like we need to prioritize the way that we present ourselves and our content online, because if we wouldn't watch, look at, follow ourselves, then why should other people? Okay, we need to strip the ego, strip the entitlement. Go back. This is what I want everyone to do. Go back. Look at before you post today and again in your life. I want you to look at all of your social media platforms and be like, would I follow myself? Is my content good? Could I do something better? Okay. Write it down. Write down what you can change. And sometimes it's just simple where it's like, okay, if I'm doing a live stream, I need to make sure that the audio is good. People can hear me and that I'm in a well-lit area so they can actually see my face, and they're going to want to like pay more attention because they can actually see me. And it's not like in like the dark corner in your basement and no one can see you because it's like quite literally pitch black, right? So sometimes it's just simple little tweaks that we can make. But if we're always on the go and we're always thinking about, okay, I need more followers, more engagement, more followers, it's like sometimes we're not getting that because we're like too busy that we forget that it's like, oh, all I need to do is make this one simple little tweak and then that's going to make my business explode. Because maybe they can't hear you, maybe they can't see you, maybe your pictures aren't that good. And it's like, that's just the fact of the that's just like how it is. If you're trying to stand out online, especially in 2019, and you don't want to pay for advertising and you're competing with all of these other celebrities and people that already have followings, you're going to have to create amazing, valuable content every single day. Okay? That's how it is. Because if you're not willing to do that, then you're going to grow slow. Okay? You might, strike luck and, have a viral post and whatever, and that's amazing. But you're better off just posting daily and consistently with valuable content, because there are so many people that are just simply lazy and they're not going to do it. It's kind of like the example I already gave 3 times today. One person posts on YouTube once a week for a year. Do the math. 52 weeks in a year. That's 52 videos. Okay. I am practically going to do that in about like a month and a half instead of waiting all year. Because all I'm doing is repurposing these live streams onto YouTube. So I have 365 videos, okay? Best known beats best. If you just go to the search, I am going to have more videos in the search than the person that I just compared myself to, because it's simple math. 365 compared to 52, like when you search for social media marketing, who do you think is going to pop up? I am, because best known beats best. Okay, got the thumbs up from Jameson. Hey, hey Shakira, how are you? Okay, Erica says we'll watch after work. Awesome. Okay, so guys, I know this live stream was a little jumbled. I just had like a couple thoughts that I wanted to say and I didn't really know like how to express it. So yeah, I hope you guys love this. If you guys have any questions, I understand that like I don't know, maybe it was fine. I don't know. I kind of just rambled like I always do on live streams. But if you guys have any questions about what I said or like something didn't make sense, always let me know in the comments. I love when you guys ask me questions, especially on live streams. That's why I come on live. Love answering your guys' questions. I have this group to help you. That's it. Okay. So don't ever be scared to ask me a question about this video or anything related to social media marketing, because your question could quite literally and anonymously be the topic for the next live stream. Lariana says, I love your tips, Kylie. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm glad that you love them, and I hope that they help you. So today, like I said, I want everyone to step back, and I want you guys to analyze your own platforms and be like, would I follow myself? And I also want you guys to Google your name, like halfway. Do like Kylie FR. And if your name isn't popping up, just use it as a self-realization. Just be like, okay, I'm not searchable. How can I make myself searchable? Start posting your content on social media search engines. Pinterest, YouTube, podcasting, blogging. So if you guys want me to elaborate on anything that I said today, I can also make that into another live stream because I'm going to be late for CrossFit, so I have to go. But I hope you guys have an amazing, I think it's Wednesday. Have an amazing Wednesday. Vivian says, tough love, have to do that self-analysis. Yeah, and guys, I'm doing this too. But that's how you get better. It's like you can't get better if you keep doing the same thing over and over again. You honestly know that you're not seeing results, okay? You get better by looking at what you're doing, analyzing what you're doing, and saying, okay, where are my weak points, but how can I make them better? That's how you grow, okay? And sometimes, like, I know I'm tough love, but it's like because I do the same thing for myself, and I realize that is actually what works. So I'm just sharing it with you. Okay, so I'm gonna hop off. I know this was a long live stream, but I'm so happy that you guys chimed in. I love when you guys chime in with me on live streams. And I will see you guys tomorrow on the next live stream. Bye, guys. Have an amazing day.